Is Chuba Hubbard the new running back one of the future for the Carolina Panthers?
I'd say at least for next year, for sure, because I have to do some research on how this contract works. Actually, I'm going to stall and do it right now. I'm going to check when Miles Sanders' contract can be voided for basically no dead cap. Because that's the thing is, if you can do that after this season, there's no doubt you're doing that. Especially Tepper's up in flames. He knows that it's a volatile, dire situation with the fan base. You got to cut all that dead cap you can to get as many new names and new faces in the building as possible. And so it's like, to answer the question, next year, at least Chuba, definitely immediate running back one.
I guess my thing is like, of all teams that are like have the cap to sign a running back, why would you do it? Like, we have talked about this almost every game, but it's just like teams constantly just draft new running backs and play them. Like, I feel like it's really not that hard to hit on a running back in the draft. Like, just take one in the 4th or the 5th every year. You'll have one.
One guy in the 4th or 5th, one guy undrafted. You'll find one of them will come through and be hitting it in training camp.
Yeah.
And also, here's some crazy sad news for Panthers fans. This year's dead cap on that contract, $11 million. Next year, $8.5 million.
Oh.
So realistically, the only time you'd end up cutting him is after the next season. Unless you want to go eat $19 million.
Just brutal.
So, it is what it is. That's why you can't be giving out contracts like that. Oh, and I swear Panthers fans thought I was literally brain dead for bringing this up. I have to keep doing my victory lap on this one. I'm sorry, Panthers fans. I do hope, though, genuinely, from a Saints fan, I hope that this is a little bit depressing. Hopefully the turnaround can start a little sooner for you guys. So I'm not bashing on y'all.
Chuba Hubbard had double the amount of touchdowns this year, double the amount of touchdowns this game that Miles Sanders has this year, and a third of his rushing yards.
Just a joke. But it's also, I can't even blame Miles because Miles stole the bag. I can't blame him for putting pen to the paper. I would have done that shit in a second.
It's on the GM. Like it's like a running back who had a decent year behind probably the best O-line we've ever seen on one of the best teams. Oh, he's got to be like...
We're watching Kenneth Gainwell, who Eagles fans have like the worst love-hate relationship ever with, putting up... Kenneth Gainwell could put up realistically 80 to 100 a week behind that O-line. It's
I mean, that's why DeAndre Swift like doesn't have that much vision. He just runs through the wide open hole. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, this they got fooled by the Eagles O-line. Panthers fans definitely did, because they haven't had an O-line like the Eagles in forever. So it's like I don't blame them. They got fooled a little bit. I'm sorry, Panthers fans. You guys, you got the tricks, but now you're seeing that it was an illusion.
Jonathan Mingo took a step.
I can't gas him yet because this was the first one. This was really the first game this year. What was my thing I had here? So only the second game with 5+ receptions this year, but that's definitely a trend that if it continues, that is probably the most important thing for Bryce's development this season. He has to have another guy besides Adam Thielen that he's targeting constantly. And even this game, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, did Thielen only have 2 catches?
Thielen had... Yes, three
so
for 25 yards.
I knew he was minimal. So look, that's the thing is when especially when Thielen's not getting open or he's getting blanketed double teams, you got to have another option. This was the start of maybe something kind of new for the Panthers.
Regardless how you feel about like Bryce Young's play this year, I honestly feel like this was one of his better games. I like the way he was creating out of the pocket. I think he looked a little bit more confident. Even though the stats probably won't show that, I think that deep pass to DJ Shark was really nice. I think it's getting kind of frustrating though, because it's like, I'm glad he's creating a connection with Mingo, but like, I think you're seeing, like, I think the Panthers offense was probably better when it was Thielen getting a majority of the targets, which is fine. I mean, I just think like at the end of the day, the coaching staff may have said, okay, we need to generate like players that are going to be here long term and develop them. Like, I don't know. All of this to say the Panthers are fucked.
Well, it's like, and again, so it's like, and I just pulled it up here just to have every name in front of my face because, you know, I like to have it all in front of me. Like, let's be realistic for a second. Genuinely, minus Bryce, because you're locked into Bryce no matter what.
Yeah.
But minus Bryce, Adam, and Chuba. Realistically, who is going to be on this team?
Mingo.
Icky, yeah, your left tackle. You're also locked in on that. Here's my thing, and I loved Icky. He was actually one of my favorite prospects last year. He had a great rookie year, but this year it's been a decline, honestly, and especially from the tape I'm watching. I'm like, Icky, what's going on? Icky does not look very good. The whole O-line looks terrible. The receiving core, everybody, like I said, minus Adam, it's like when they signed DJ Chark, that's just to me also a very unserious signing. DJ Chark's a great like wide receiver 4. like bring him in when someone's injured or have him as like an option off the bench. He's a great guy like that. But one of your starting options, it was like, and you're getting him starter money. Like the Panthers are just unserious. Like there's so many things need to be fixed. They have no tight end. Most important thing for young QB, as we've been saying.
What
like,
do you mean,
there's
bro?
so
Hayden Hurst.
Consistent.
Wait, is he healthy though?
He
might not. I don't even think he's healthy.
That's the problem. Is that it's like Hayden, when he's out there, he's solid, but it's also like he's not out there very often. So it's like you got to get him a young tight end to mesh with. He has to get guys that are his guys. He has no his guys besides Adam, which I'll keep saying doesn't matter, because by the time that Thielen is by the time that they're anywhere, potentially even, I can't even picture what it's going to look like if they were even able to. But put a competitive team around over the next few years, he'll be too old at that point. Become serious. Start putting around weapons around Bryce where he can actually develop chemistry with them. Because at this point, it's literally a pointless experiment if you keep it going this way. Because we know what it's going to end up like.
Yeah. I mean, wounded animal to a sinking ship. The Buccaneers aren't that much better. They won by 3. Mike Evans, third 100-yard game this year. Hall of Famer, 10 straight years with 1,000 yards.
Are we witnessing a Hall of Fame career? I was going to say, because with receivers, it's going to take at least, like, we probably won't see him get that jacket until we're like 50 or 60 with the way it works with receivers. But like, I think he's getting in line eventually to get that jacket.
I love Mike Evans, bro. I'm so happy for him. When he caught that, I mean, like, bro, when he caught that ball and took it to the house, I'm like,
he still got speed.
Bro, he's how old?
Yeah, like I didn't think he still had it like that, bro.
He grabbed that and took it to the house. Yeah, so shout out Mike Evans and like
the Bucs defense is really the main thing that gets our shout out today. I had to give that Antoine Winfield 1 sack, 1 interception day a shout. And then the Yaya Diaby 4 sacks over the last 4 games. Like, hey, if you're a Bucs fan, the way he plays too, I feel like you got to feel like you're like, hold on a minute. Are we getting another dominant edge rusher right here? Is Shaq Barrett's wisdom passing over to Yaya? Are we getting a little Shaq Barrett kind of 2.0 over here? If you're a Bucs fan, it's got to be exciting for you.
Do you think the Bucs are one of those teams that if they kind of lose one more, kind of get a little bit more out of the race? Do you think there's one of those teams that'll quiet quit?
Oh, I feel like no, for sure. And especially like we say about with Todd Bowles. It's like Todd Bowles is in the unserious coaching category. Like holding on to Todd Bowles is unserious. That's the word of the day. If you decide to hold on to him and retain him after this year, they're unserious. And that's the thing is it already feels very unserious that he's still there.
What's also like Chris Godwin is just like not producing this year. He's got 600 yards. It feels like he's not involved like he should be in the game plan.
His chemistry compared to what Mike and Baker have is not even close.
I think it's
which
just
is weird though.
Mike just has a bigger like catch radius.
But that's what I want to say. What also makes no sense about it is you remember that one game where Mike went out and then Chris came in against the Saints. It was like Chris immediately had a great connection, but for whatever reason, when they're both on the field together, they just don't have
it just doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah. So the NFC South shit fest. Do you have anything else you want to talk about this game, or should we?
No, that's
relieve
honestly
the listeners?
The NFC South. We will relieve them of the NFC South talk.